You're standing there next to what seems to be a rather unimpressive, although interesting bark. Very nice peely bark, but really a rather unimpressive tree. I remember the first time you ever brought me in here and showed me this plant, and I'm going, oh yeah, okay, yeah, sure. But there are very few of these in the country, period, let alone the state of California. And in Fremont, how many of these we got? What is it, Nelson? Tell me.
This is an Agathis Robusta from Australia. And what's rare about this tree is called, the common name is a Kauri Pine. So when you think of a pine, you think of the pine needles. This is actually in the pine family and it has a leaf. And to find a pine tree that has a leaf on it is very rare. And that's what's one of the most interesting features of this tree. And George Roding photographed this tree and documented it and brought it to many people's attention that it is a very rare pine tree and it needs to be preserved.
Now, I know I kind of fell over backwards when you told me. How old is that tree?
It's I would say it's about 107 years old.
Okay, hug that tree for me. This is 107 years worth of growth, okay? This is not that big of a tree. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to run up so we can see.
It gets big pine cones the size of probably a softball, tennis ball.
So this one does make viable seed here?
And it makes pine cones.
Okay, so it makes a pine cone. Definitely, you're right. It is a leaf. And so this thing, just like araucarias and such, this must go way back in time, huh? This is Gondwana land stuff?
Yeah, this is like a very old species. Probably goes back 150 million years.
And it would be, this particular is what, Australian?
Yes, I believe so.
Okay, and then what? They
Agathis Robusta, or Kauri Pine.
Okay, and they exist. There is a variety also in New Zealand, I think, yeah? And then otherwise, I understand David Pellerin planted one from New Caledonia.
David Pellerin has a nice little collection of the Agathis, the best collection in the area.
At the Quarry Lakes, David has several varieties growing successfully, although they're very small. There's just a handful of these anywhere in the United States, I suspect, yeah?
Yep.
Pretty rare tree.
It's a pine that has leaves instead of needles.
Wow. Unimpressive unless you know the story. You would walk right by this thing if you didn't know. And I think the bark is amazing, though. You know, we're back to, you know, what are the cool things about trees? Well, trees make fruit, you know. Trees make all sorts of different things, but bark is so cool. Look at this stuff. Crackly. Very cool. Agathis robusta.